Only 8.1% of people who watch these videos are subscribed to the channel. We've got a massive giveaway at 250 subscribers. So please help us, and we'll help you you'll be able to join the giveaway. Subscription down below. Drop that like button as well whilst you're at it, and leave a comment of any ideas you've got. Help us out and we'll help you, as I said. Enjoy the video. Hello there and welcome to the BSR Sports Podcast. From the fans, for the fans. Today I'm joined by usual guest Liam Murphy, and Paddy is joined us back from Tenerife. How is Tenerife, Paddy?
Brilliant, mate. It was good to get away, but back to reality now.
Aye. You can see you've got... Oh, wait, you've not got a tan because you're Scottish. Absolutely brilliant. That's emotions good enough. Massive weekend, wasn't it? Poor result from Celtic, Paddy. Talk us through it.
Aye. I never saw the game, but I saw the highlights and I think we're just going downhill. I don't know what's happening. I kind of think Lennon might go this week, but then I'm seeing that he's in a safe position.
Think so?
Seeing that he's in a safe position online. So, but at the weekend against
the board came out today and said they're backing Lennon, and as of now he's in a safe position.
I know.
Aye. So as I said, how was the Hibs game? What did you think?
The game wasn't good, man. Going 2-0 down against Hibs, like you saw the goals. Scott Brown, captain, leading by example, gave that penalty away, and then for the penalty, Scott Brown made the save, and there's defenders there, like not even anticipating a rebound or anything.
As a Celtic fan, I would be really annoyed watching that, because it was not one, not two, but three players standing round. Nisbet who went on it? No, it was Murphy. Nisbet scored the second.
Murphy.
But three players standing round ex-Rangers player Jamie Murphy, and
I know.
he was free. He had nobody around him, and they were just standing at the edge of the box. And for a season so vital, 100% needs to be getting put in every game. You would expect it, wouldn't you, as a Celtic fan? And to watch that, it's painful. I'm not a Celtic fan, but I know it's painful for you to watch, because it's not good. Players can't be doing that. You can't afford that. And honestly, I think you deserve to go 2-0 down, because the players went up to it on Saturday, were they?
I know they weren't. It was some goal by Kevin Nisbet. I thought that was a great goal. He took that well. And to be fair, it did show a bit of like hunger from us, and to bring that back to 2 each. But I don't know. We need more than that. You know what I mean?
Aye. Kevin Nisbet's goal, as you said, it was an absolute scorcher and off the post. I watched him when he was with Thistle, and it was terrible for Thistle. He came through the Thistle youth ranks. He played a couple of games in the Premiership for us. He wasn't anywhere near it, and he got released, and it made him realise. He said himself in interviews, it made him realise he needs to put in double the effort. He needed to put in double the effort that he was. He went to Raith Rovers, and astonishingly well, Raith Rovers in League One. And then he went to Dunfermline. It's the same again with Dunfermline. And then he got his deserved move to Hibs. And he carried that on with the first game. I think he scored 2 or 3 in the first game for Hibs. He's carried it on. And only for his penalty miss against Hearts, I think that's the only reason that prevented him from getting that Scotland call-up. Because he's been on fire and he's been excellent for Hibs. He's what Hibs have needed. Hibs haven't had an out-and-out striker, an out-and-out poaching goal scorer in a long while. Martin Boyles kind of carried them last season. It was more wingers that were scoring for them. And then season before, John McGinn. So it's good to see them having a striker like that. And if Nisbet keeps it up, I can see him moving on again. But in the meantime, I think Nisbet will be called up for Scotland soon. What do you think?
I think you're right. He looks a great striker. And you don't really know with Steve Clarke. Sometimes he's playing Dykes, sometimes he's playing McBurney. But we need a guy who's going to be the mainstay sort of striker, getting called up, being a leading the front line.
Yep, definitely. What about you, Liam?
Yeah, I would say Nisbet deserves the call up as well. I think we all have I don't think we'd say we have an agenda against him, but we all are not the biggest fans of Ollie McBurney. He plays for arguably the biggest club out of all the. Oh, obviously he Griffiths playing for Celtic, but McBurney's playing in the Premier League, and that's probably why I still think he's still.
I think the price tag's really, sorry for butting in, but I think the price tag's really is what's keeping him in the Scotland squad at the moment.
I fully agree. I do not rate McBurney at all. The only thing he's got is for a very tall guy, he's not very strong. He's not very fast. I just don't rate him at all. I think Nisbet would be a fantastic, another fantastic asset to the Scotland squad. To have him, Griffiths, and Dykes as the three strikers.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Hibs this season, Paddy? Unbelievable, haven't they been? They're going to challenge Aberdeen. Going to challenge Aberdeen at least for third.
I know. They look a great side, and you're right. I think they will challenge Aberdeen for that third place because, well, you never even know what's going to happen with us with Celtic. I think that game was a wake up call. Like, obviously we've had this bad run of form, but you can see that like we've taken teams easily in the league, and then you're seeing Hibs go 2-0 up. Obviously we've been losing like the Europa League games, but fancy the games don't matter. But
I think you've been on and off. Really, personally, I don't think you've been easing by teams. The only game I've seen you dominating is the Hamilton game at home. But the Motherwell game, maybe, yeah, you could say that about the Motherwell game. But I think you've been one game on, one game off, and that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable in a season you're going to win the league, is it? Saturday, like Celt saved Leonard's job, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean about like for like obviously 9 seasons we've just taken teams lightly, strolled the league, but now you're seeing like teams sort of maybe have figured us out, and it's not just between Celtic and Rangers. You're seeing teams like Hibs and Motherwell and who not challenging us. So it'll be a wake up call.
I think personally we'll get into Rangers in a wee second, but the Celtic we know of the past few seasons, winning 4-0, 5-0, 6-0 games, dominating. Rangers seem to be doing what Celtic are known to do. It's kind of as if both teams have flipped this season. Do you not think?
I think you're right, because like you saw last season, we won that league last season because Rangers, like, they didn't have the consistency. You know what I mean? They went on their game last season, so it looks like the tables have turned, unfortunately.
What's your thoughts on Lennon?
Lennon, I think he can only do a job with the players that he's got, but he's the one making the decisions who's starting and whatnot. But I think he's got to go for me. I was expecting maybe something this week about him leaving, because although we got that draw, like going down 2-0 down, and we should be winning games like that. You know what I mean? It's not good enough.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing that summed it up for me was these were 2-0 down, 10 minutes to go. Would you expect an attacking substitution to be made?
Exactly. I'm bringing on what Shane Duffy.
Shane Duffy for Scott Brown, wasn't it?
Aye.
Shane Duffy for Scott Brown moves Beater into centre mid. That's horrific for me.
I know.
To be 2-0 down. Luckily enough, they did save it at the death. Lax out. What a finish! What a goal! Fair dues to him, but I don't really think Celtic deserved it. In all honesty, first half, Celtic had 72% possession, so I think that me saying they didn't deserve it, they probably did. But chance-wise, there wasn't a lot created, was there?
Nah, exactly. Like, we have all that possession, but we really
possession doesn't win games.
We don't go anywhere. We don't go anywhere. Like you saw, was it the Tottenham Man City game? Tottenham never had any of the ball, and you saw them coming away with the win. So possession doesn't win games.
Yeah. Moving on to the other side of Glasgow, an excellent performance against the Sheep. Aberdeen. Aberdeen. They get made to look the schoolboys, didn't they? What's your thoughts?
I actually watched this game. I caught the second
Oh,
half.
did you? Aye, was it? So you chose to watch a bit of Scottish football rather than the big money Premier League? That's
Nah,
nice of you, Liam. That's nice of you.
I was actually watching a bit of Rangers recently, and they actually are a fun team to watch right now, mainly because they remind me so much of Liverpool, because the way they play with their fullbacks and like their hard-working midfielders, it just reminds me so much of how Liverpool play.
Gerrard Gerrard must have contacts at Liverpool, because it's evident that he's taking Brendan Rodgers' style of playing, but definitely taking Liverpool style of playing at the same time. And we've seen he spoke to Klopp before. I don't know if he maybe speaks to Klopp personally, but definitely, obviously being a Liverpool legend, he'll be the first person to have contacts there. So, Liam, I think you might be right. Similar
Yeah,
to Liverpool.
with Gerrard as well, I think it's inevitable when Klopp leaves that he wants Gerrard to be the successor
Yeah.
to Liverpool, because and so I'm glad to see him do really really well at Rangers right now. He's doing obviously right now he's doing absolute wonders, and in my opinion he will go on and win the league. But it's from this point till mid to late January where they need the consistency. So if last season, if I remember correctly, that's where the season was lost for Rangers, because they were still ahead at going into Christmas after they won the Old Firm, and it can be the tables can turn easily in the Christmas schedule. I'm pretty sure as well there's no winter break in Scotland this year, and so this could be a crucial time for Rangers.
Yeah, you're 100% right. The big question is, can they take it all the way? Is it time for 55? Because at the moment, nobody looks as if they're stopping Rangers, do they, Paddy?
Nah, not even Celtic. Like you saw that game they played against us, where they didn't even hit second gear. They didn't even go into second gear, and they strolled that game against us. And I think it was Kieran that said before, like you see them, they get goal scorers from all over the park. I think James Tavernier's top goal scorer in the league. You had Kemar Roof scoring, Scott Arfield, so they've got goals from everywhere. Whereas we just rely on our big guys, Edward and who else. So Rangers look a good force.
Yeah, 100%. And as I said earlier, it's night and day between Celtic and Rangers. They do seem to have flipped. It's very positive for Rangers. Yet again, the roof was on fire at Ibrox. What did you think of? Well, I was going to say, what did you think of the performance? But I think we can all say what we thought of the performance. It's just quick, rapid passing, movement. The movement's exceptional, isn't it? And there's no errors. You're seeing Rangers just look on top of Scottish football right now. And tonight, I was actually at the Barton Falkirk game, and Falkirk did come away with a 3-0 win, but personally, Dumbarton dominated the ball, and I'm scared for Falkirk getting in. I was obviously asking nice questions in interviews after the game, but on Sunday I'm scared for Falkirk. I can see another Hamilton happening, even though it is at Falkirk Stadium. They have got experience, Morgaro Gomez, Connor Salmon, Paul Dixon, but it's an old squad. Rangers are young, they're flying, and we'll talk about the weekend's fixtures in a wee bit. But all I'm saying is Falkirk, they've not got a chance against Rangers, I don't think. For Aberdeen, what's your thoughts? Do you think it was just a one-off game, a poor game, or do you think? Who do you think will get third place first of all? Talking Hibs and Aberdeen.
I'm going to go
the performances recently.
I'm going to go for Hibs because they still look like a great team, and I think if Hibs were to go to Ibrox and Parkhead, they'd come away. They could come away with draws, whereas you see Aberdeen getting beat 4-0. But I think we seem to turn up when we play against the likes of Aberdeen and whatnot. But I think it's going to be a close one between Aberdeen and Hibs.
It will be, and I think the games against each other are going to be vital because you see Hibs winning one, Aberdeen winning the next one, so it will be vital. But as you said, Aberdeen never seemed to do well against the Old Firm. The game against Celtic, the draw, was probably the first in years that they've actually got a result. I think the last time they got a decent result against the Old Firm was maybe James Maddison's free kick against Rangers, or the 3-0 away one, and I think it might be, no, it was a League of the Cup. Conor McLennan scored for Aberdeen, so I think it's positive times for Hibs and it's poor times for Aberdeen. But do you think there's anything to take away for the game at the weekend for Aberdeen?
I don't think it showed too much. I think it just shows that they do struggle against the Old Firm sides, but that's really about it.
What about you, Liam?
Same thought process. They just seem to struggle against the Old Firm teams. And it's probably going to be yet another wake-up call for getting smacked. I mean, getting smacked by Rangers right now isn't the worst thing in the world, but for Aberdeen's sake, it can't be a good thing. And we've recovered quickly from it.
Yeah. Another positive from Rangers' performance we've seen in recent times. Gerrard seems to be, as you said, the attacking wing-backs. Gerrard seems to be playing Tavernier so much higher, and it's paying off. It's working miracles, and it was close to getting 2 goals on Sunday.
He's a great player. He's a great player, and as I said, he's top goal scorer, I think. And you see him as well.
Rangers penalty Rangers, but
penalty Rangers every game. Aye, he's always taking the penalties, and he's lethal from a free kick, and I think he's quite high up in the assists as well, so he's a great player.
A bottle.
A belter, mate.
My wee poofter bottle. Aye, he is honestly a great player, and it was talk this week. I think somebody tweeted about him possibly being able to play for Scotland. I don't know who that was, and it got a few remarks off Celtic fans. Was it bait? Nobody knows. But he would be perfect for Scotland, wouldn't he?
He would.
Stephen O'Donnell, don't take it off Stephen O'Donnell, but I don't think he is Tavernier's. Attacking wise, if we're playing wing backs, don't think he's anywhere near Tavernier, is he?
No.
Imagine a fullback playing for Scotland of Tavernier and Robertson. But that could be scary.
Aye. He's not. I've always said he's not a defender, but see, attacking wise, he's probably one of the best in the league. Even when Tierney was in the league, I would say he was probably one of the best in the league. He's lethal for penalties, lethal from free kicks. If he keeps up what he's doing, and Rangers do win the league, I can see him going down south because he's on fire with Rangers this season. Ryan Kent, I can see Leeds going for him in the summer. Edward, I can see Leeds maybe going, well, seeing that they bought Bamford. There's going to be a whole clear out in the summer because after this summer window, and with the COVID problems with money, all the money's down south and clubs are going to need it. Rangers we've seen it the other week. Rangers' finances get released. Rangers they're in a lot of trouble now. Rangers are going back into debt again, so they're going to need to sell off. They're going to need to sell off a good few players. Whether that be in January, I highly doubt it because the stature of this season. But over time, whether that be next summer, they're definitely going to need to sell 1 or 2 top players. And I see Tavernier being the pick of the bunch because this season he's been faultless, hasn't he?
He has. I was thinking more Morelos. I think he could still go for a few million. So
yeah,
Rangers are needing money.
Takes you back onto the question, but do clubs really want Morelos with his attitude, with his temper? He's not been his form's dipped this season as well. He's not the same player he was last season. He's a good player in Europe, yes, but it seems to me he likes to play better in Europe. And that's not what I think his attitude sometimes does show a lack of respect for the club. And clubs are not, they're not going to want to pay over 10 million for that. Morelos, personally, I said 20, 25 million he was worth last season. This season, 10, 15 million. So it's going to dip. If Rangers were to get 10, 15 million, I would take that. But as I said, Rangers are just playing excellent. Defoe, he's back on the top of his game, isn't he? He's not in the top of his game with Tottenham, obviously. That was top of his game, but Defoe just shows his quality every game, doesn't he?
He's a great striker. He done it in England, and he seems to be doing it up here as well. It's obviously not the best level he's playing against, but he's still showing at age he is, he can still bang them in.
Aye. Obviously, you've got Kent scoring, Roof scoring, Arfield scoring, Tavernier scoring. The whole team's getting a shot. That's the difference between Celtic and Rangers. It's a team game with Rangers, and Gerrard's got them flying.
That's what I mean. We seem to rely on individuals, maybe your Edward and El Yanusi, Ryan Christie, whereas Rangers, as you see in the Aberdeen game, I think it was 4 different goal scorers. So they're pretty much anyone can score for them. And I mean, Goldson scored twice against us, so...
Well, that's Goldson getting an assist at the weekend.
I saw that as well.
We've just spoke about Tavernier.
Kent's goal was pretty good.
Tavernier. Kent's goal was a scorcher.
Oh, that was a peach.
Through the legs, but it was a deflection, but it was still a scorcher.
Good bit of skill. Deflection.
Ryan Kent this season, what's your thoughts? He's been terrific for Rangers. He's just switched. He's back to the player he was at Liverpool, wasn't he?
Is it Liverpool's been unleashed this season at Rangers?
Mm-hmm. You'll have seen him in the pre-season. Do you remember him playing in the pre-season friendlies?
Yeah.
I watched him.
I never thought he'd be getting into the Liverpool squad because you're talking about Kent trying to get the squad over the likes of Sadio Mane and Mo Salah.
You've got sorry to interrupt, but you've got Harry Wilson. He can't even get into the Liverpool squad.
Yeah,
and he was scoring free kicks like that against Man City. Remember the free kick against Man United? Most teams that would get them straight into a squad anywhere because of the quality he's got. But what were we saying then?
And yeah, I mean, I always knew. I never really rated Kent at Liverpool, mainly because he never got a chance. But I knew that if a club like Rangers were interested, and obviously Steven Gerrard will probably have set double standards at Liverpool, obviously, so he'll probably get first pick with most of Liverpool's rejects, like Ryan Kent, for example. And I feel like I don't think he was ever going to make it at Liverpool, but I always felt like he would be a decent player for Rangers. But this season, he has really shown he's struck his stuff this season, especially that goal.
Yeah, 100%. It just looks like they've turned a switch, and that has been vital for Rangers. Most players look like they've turned a switch. They've learned from last season, and it's scary. It's scary times for you, Paddy, because I don't see Rangers slipping up anytime soon.
No, neither do I, mate. It is scary, and it doesn't look like it's going to be good times for us Celtic fans. And it's the biggest season, like, probably ever for us, getting that historic 10 in a row. And you look at how we're playing and how Rangers are playing, and it's completely polar opposites. So, worrying times for us.
How does it feel, obviously, being a Celtic fan in these worrying times?
Mate, it's awful. Like, it's awful, like, seeing them playing so well, and we can't even compete against teams like Hibs and Aberdeen and Rangers, where games like that last season, and you saw the seasons before that, would be. You saw us winning 4-0 and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's horrible to see them now, and as a Celtic fan, it's not good.
Yeah. So, moving on to Liam, your chosen subject, the mighty Liverpool. That was a terrific performance at the weekend, wasn't it? With main players missing, Mo Salah missing. Jota stepped up to the plate yet again. Talk us through it.
I mean, I could go on all day about Liverpool, but the best way to describe this game is the way Jurgen Klopp describes the team. These are a bunch of mentality monsters. We have not got Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Thiago, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Salah, and yet we still batter one of the better teams in the league this season, who went to the Etihad and scored 5, mind you, and we've just made them look like a League One team. The way we absolutely.
Who's the score against Man City again?
They beat Man City 5-2.
I forgot all about that.
And the way we played that game was unbelievable. Every player, man, was just, again, like that Atalanta game, every man done their bit. The veteran James Milner, unbelievable. He played at right back, and then for the last half hour was playing centre midfield. And then And then my man Andy Robertson putting in, who I thought was man of the match that day, that cross for the second goal. That is
his cross was terrific. See, we don't see that with Scotland, but that's what annoys me. It really does annoy me, and I don't know why it is. But I spoke to my dad during watching the Liverpool game, and he was saying Robertson usually, if you do watch Scotland, countries know Robertson's the main player, so they're going to stick 2 players on him. Whereas with Liverpool, it's a world class team, so he gets a bit more freedom. If you understand what I'm saying, so you could give Robertson a bit of leeway with Scotland, but that second goal, the cross, was absolutely terrific. It was phenomenal.
I want to throw out a little special mention for Roberto Firmino, who, in my opinion, is one of the most unluckiest Liverpool players I've seen in a long time right now. Roberto Firmino,
one of the most unluckiest.
He is
unfortunate.
Unfortunate, yeah. I love Roberto Firmino.
There's a word for you.
And I've loved Roberto Firmino from when he joined Liverpool. And he's obviously on a tough patch right now, but you can't deny his quality. There's one season where he got back 27 goals that can't go unnoticed. He is, in my opinion, very much a Liverpool icon because of what he's done. He's a pressing machine. He never seems tired. I can't remember the last time he was injured. And with this current injury phase, I'm surprised that he hasn't been injured yet. The amount of running he does every single game, and I don't care about his goal output. If he's putting in 7 or 8 out of 10 every single weekend, every single weekday as well in the Champions League, I'll ask. It's a fantastic player.
It was emotional for the full team seeing him getting that goal, wasn't it?
Oh, I loved when he scored that header and then every single player just surrounded him, giving a big massive hug. You see Roberto Firmino's smile as well. It just shows the way this squad is so united. They're just like all the players had smile on their faces, like, oh yes, Bobby, come on. They were so happy for him. It just made me smile as well.
And he came so close to getting that goal minutes before.
I know. I thought, oh, man, this is the luck of Firmino. He does everything right, and then when it comes to a shot, he doesn't fluff his legs. That's a very unlucky attempt, and then to get it cleared off.
Chips the keeper, hits the post, basically goes in the goal. 1 millimeter, not centimeter. 1 millimeter separated the ball from the edge of the line.
It was like a tennis goal, wasn't it? You see it
1 millimeter. It was mental. The fact that they've disallowed that by 1. It's absolute madness, isn't it?
We can have our opinions on the technology, but we can admit one thing: goal line technology has been an absolute revelation for football. I think because these, it's absolutely fantastic to have.
It is the rules at the end of the day. It is the rules, and I've got it right down to the finest detail. And I'm not going to take us into the topic of VAR because I'll just start rambling. I think we'll both start rambling, won't we? But I don't take it away from Firmino. Jota stepped up to the plate on Saturday, and I said, I'm not going to lie, I said when Jota scored the goal, I said he's taking Firmino's place. Firmino's had his chance, and he's taking Firmino's place. And in the second half, Firmino just seemed to flip a switch. And it was the old Firmino we seen, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. I wouldn't say... I never thought Jota was going to replace Firmino. Jota was brought in to bring...
With the form he's been in recently, you can't put a player like that on the bench, can you?
Yeah. With obviously the whole Jota-Firmino debate, I never thought one of them would be replacing the other. I always thought Jota was brought in to bring in very healthy competition. This is what Origi struggled to do. Origi is finished at Liverpool. He got 2 Derby goals, but let's be honest, he's not the backup you want. You want a player like Jota off the bench, but now he's going to be starting majority of Liverpool's games as it seems. And to have that healthy competition will only motivate the likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino.
Yeah, Joe Matip back from injury. Fabinho slotting in beside him. Joe Matip's been I've always said he's a brilliant player, and the only reason that stopped him from being a world-class defender is injury, isn't it?
Absolutely. He is a fantastic player. He's a funny lad as well. You see the way he runs, the way he storms up to the referee, like the way I call him Kermit the Frog sometimes because of the way he runs. And that all jokes aside, Matip is a solid defender. And now that he's like the only centre back in Fabinho's there as well, but he's not a natural centre back. To have Matip in there, I'm still confident. We seem to be playing better without Virgil van Dijk. I wonder whether the injury to Van Dijk has actually motivated the players even more to know that they have to step up now.
Yeah. Terrific performance from Liverpool. All in all, even Curtis Jones getting a game. You thought he done all right as well?
I could go all night about Curtis Jones. Just in the last podcast,
he seems like he's got himself in there now, hasn't he?
He doesn't look out of place in that team. He's played a handful of games. He started a handful of games on Ardmore Jurgen Club the last two seasons now, and he doesn't look out of place. Doesn't look like he's trying to strut his stuff as a youngster. He genuinely looks like a brilliant team player to have and a brilliant squad asset.
Yeah. Tottenham v Man City on Saturday. That was, for me, that was a surprising result. But then again, it wasn't a surprising result because Son and Kane, they're the best duo. I said they might have been the best duo in the world in the last podcast. Check that out if you haven't. But they are the best duo in the world right now on form.
I wouldn't
unbelievable.
I wouldn't say it's a surprise. I knew Spurs. I had a feeling Spurs were going to win that game. Man City, they don't look up to it right now. I don't know if it's a Pep Guardiola thing or if it's a team thing, but something's not right at Manchester City right now. And I had a feeling Spurs were going to not dominate, but I did feel like there was going to be a typical Mourinho performance. Sit back, hold up in the pressure, let them dominate, hit them on the counter, and they've done it twice. They've done it twice to the absolute perfect extent. I said it recently as well. I think right now in the Premier League, Heung-min Son is the player of the season. And
being a Liverpool fan takes guts to say that because Liverpool are just behind, and you probably could put a few players in, but I don't think I can disagree with you there. I don't think anybody can. It's extraordinary the form that Mourinho's got them in. Tottenham are on top of their game right now, aren't they?
I'll put my hatred for Harry Kane aside for a minute. Right now, he is, I would say, in current form, the most all-round striker in the world, in my opinion. Probably the best striker in the world right now. I hate to admit it because I despise Harry Kane for what he done against the mighty Scotland. But his job, he scores goals and he holds up the ball amazingly well. He played as the best playmaker on the pitch against Man City on Saturday.
I want to disagree with you there. Robert Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski. I know Kane is on the highest of form right now, but Robert Lewandowski last season, this season, I don't think you can push anybody by him at the moment. And it is a debate because Kane and Son are both on fire. Personally, I would say Son's in better form than Kane, but Son is a winger at the end of the day. If we're talking strikers, Kane is in with a shout. Lewandowski is just on fire. Every time he gets the ball, he just does something new. And we've seen it against Dortmund a couple of weeks ago. His old team, he loves to score against them. He just does it time after time. He didn't score at the weekend. They drew with Werder Bremen, but there's a debate for it. There is a debate for it, but I think Lewandowski has to be considered the best striker in the world right now. He should have got the Ballon d'Or, and he sadly didn't. Obviously, Lewandowski's was in with a great shout for the Ballon d'Or. I think he did deserve it overall, but this season again, he's in with another shout. If the Ballon d'Or trophy is awarded, it could be between, as we're talking about, Harry Kane, Son, Heung-min Son, Lewandowski. What other contenders would you say?
Obviously, you got to put the big boys up there like Messi. Messi's still Ronaldo as well.
Well, at the moment, Ibrahimovic. Did you see the result of the weekend? 3-1 against Napoli. Ibrahimovic scored 2. He's been all over the news this week. He scored 2, and then he came out and he said about FIFA. Did you see that tweet today about FIFA? Ibrahimovic came out and said, FIFA 21. I don't know why you've given me. No, I don't know why I'm in the game. I've not given you any permission to be in it. And then he spoke about FIFA Pro. how they've used his rights without him saying. And he's been in the game for 20 years, so why is he just bringing it up now? It's obviously to do with money. His lawyers have told him to say something. And then Gareth Bale retweeted it and he said, so I think Ibrahimovic and Gareth Bale might be removed from the game. But then again, they've got the licence for the team, so I don't know.
I saw Ibra bought the whole of the AC Milan team PS5s.
Aye,
See that?
PS5.
Bloody hell.
It's great having a PS5.
It's great having Ibra in your team.
We'll put the caption. That's clickbait title for this. Liam got a PS5, did you? Oh, brilliant. So that's all for this week. Well, not this week because we'll have a review out on Friday. Until then, thank you very much, Paddy, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed your return from your wee cheeky holiday. And Liam, thank you for giving us your point of view as well, even if it wasn't the best. Do us a favour, leave a like down below, leave a comment, tell us what you think, tell us what we should include, give us ideas, help us out. We're only starting off. Please drop a subscription. We're going to be doing a giveaway very, very soon. Keep an eye on the Twitter and Instagram links are down below. The giveaway will be released on the Facebook and the Twitter pages. Links down below. Until then, it's a goodbye from me.
Bless.
See you after.